Questions from Moshe when Abayka by the Erev. V'yarches choyse Moshe hashkasha u'oisel ha'am v'yemim ha'adav ha'azeh novel tibol. You're going to get tired. So Moshe said, they're coming to me v'shafatati ben isha ben re'eyu. I have to be done them. And that's why I'm busy. V'yemer choyse Moshe elav lo yitay v'adav ha'ashata oisa. Ata shma bekoili iyotzcha. And he gave him a eitzah. And what was his eitzah? V'ato techeze mikol ha'am anshe chayil. You should take anshe chayil, which the Rambam teaches. Anshe chayil means people that make a point of always being mekayim every mitzvah they could. Yirei Elokim, the Shiur Shemayim. Anshe emes, people that you can't fool, that are straight, that are emestic people. Soinei batza. And they hate money because these are the people, these are attributes which are necessary when you're putting together a bezdin. V'samta aleim sar alofim sar emei sar chamishim v'sar yasaris. And what? V'shoftu am b'chaleis. And the pasuk for Zayis, it says, Vayishma Moshe l'kol choisnoi vayas kol asher oma. So it's known, there was a story of Chaim Soloveitchik. There's halacha when you get a chazan for Rosh Hashanah. There's halacha goes through. You should have hakollel orev. You should be Yer Shemayim. You should have a zokin. You should have a beard. And in Brisk, there was once a question between two chazanim. Not two chazanim. There was one guy that was a chazan. He had a beautiful voice, but he wasn't the Yer Shemayim, and the beard wasn't so ay. And then there was another fellow that he was a big Talmud Chacham. He had a beard, but his voice wasn't so great. So they came to Rab Chaim, and the question was who to give the Amud to on Rosh Hashanah. They came to Rab Chaim, and they thought, of course, Rab Chaim's going to say, you give it to the Yer Shemayim or Iska Arba Yid, putting him up to go down for the Rebbeinu Shalom, for Klal Yisrael. And Rab Chaim said, no. Rab Chaim said, you get the guy with the good voice. And Rab Chaim said, because if he doesn't have a good voice, the din of having a good voice, that makes him a chazan. Good Yer Shemayim, all these things, midas, the beard, these are all gewaldige attributes which would add on to what a good chazan is. But if a guy doesn't have a good voice, it's not a chazan. If you don't have a chazan, then you don't have the ikadin. So l'chayra, Yisrael over here missed out the point. He said gewaldige meilis. He said anshe chayil, yirei Elokim, anshe emes, soinei betza. But l'chayra, the main idea is, like the Rambam says, in Hilchas Dayanim, the Rambam right away at the beginning of Hilchas Dayanim, the Rambam says two things. The Rambam says when you're making a bezdin, ein ma'amidim esanhedrin ben gedela ben ketana ela anoshim chachamim unevoinim. What does chachamim unevoinim mean? Muflogim b'chochmas ha'teira b'alei deya meruba. They should be muflig, big talmidei chachamim. Their mind is not mitzumtzum. They know what they understand all over. Yedim tzas mishar chochmas, gen refuah, cheshbon et kufas. The main idea is you want a guy to be mishpat. He has to know his stuff. He has to know his halach. He has to be a Talmud Chacham. So what happens? Yisrael left out the main point. He said gewaldige attributes, but l'chayr he left out the main point. So I was thinking that l'chayr state the gewaldige zach over here. That really, Klal Yisrael, at this point, the Gemara says that the only time we find that there was a machlekes and tanoim, it started at a certain point. There was a certain klarkeit in Torah before that point that there was kamat no shikha. Even though shikha started with the luchas shliyas, there was broken luchas, but b'etzem there was no shikha. So it's possible everyone was talmidei chacham. Oh, Klal Yisrael, we just got the Torah. It's a shayla was kedem man Torah, lachem man Torah, whatever they had, they all knew it klar. There was no questions. So if they all knew with Klar, then what was the whole mishpat about? What are they fighting? L'chayr, you have a fight. I understand like this. I understand like that. State that when it comes to midas, like we know, that even if a person knows it 100%, with the klarkeit that they gave him from Mount Torah, or Moshe Rabbeinu giving over the Torah, it's still possible a person's eigen and agiyas. If there's something of oyev betza, if he likes money, if he's missing a mashu in Yer Shemayim, and he knows everything, cold, stating the pasuk that Lamaisa, he's not going to be royal adayin. And Memela, it was only the gay for Yisrael to say these four attributes, because Talmidei Chacham, they all were And these were the only attributes that were relevant. Avol Amaisa, I saw Lechem Mishnah brings down, Omer the Kisafri. It says at the end in the Devarim, when Moshe Rabbeinu referred to the people he got, the pasuk says, in the beginning of Parshas Devarim, the pasuk says, Hovu lachem anoshim chachomim unevoinim v'yeduim. And it doesn't say all these four attributes. It says, Who did Moshe Rabbeinu get? Chachomim unevoinim v'yeduim, which the Ram says yeduim means they had a Shem Toiv. That's just the Teitzah, people like them. But it doesn't say any of these four attributes. Dr. Safri, you know why? Because Lamais, at the end of the day, Moshe Rabbeinu, in Matzah, it says, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't find only Chachamim, Unevoinim, V'Yeduim. These four attributes that Yisroi picked out, Soinei Betza, Anshe Chayil, Yirei Elikim, 100%, says Moshe Rabbeinu didn't find it. The only thing he found, Dr. Safri, Rashi brings it down, that was, he only found Anoshim, Chachamim, Unevoinim, V'Yeduim. There were tzaddikim also, yeah, but the Anoshim Chachom and Avonim Yidum, Rashi teaches Yidum is tzaddikim, right? The Rambam says Yidum means they have a Shem Toiv. So l'chayra, come to Chais, they didn't find these four things, which is l'chayra appelled the Gazach for two reasons. Number one, the pasuk says by us, it says Vayishra Yisra Moshe L'Kol Chayisnoi Vayas Kol Asher Amar. We have a clear pasuk that whatever Yisra told Moshe Rabbeinu to get, that's what happened, and he did it. He was stuck. Moshe Rabbeinu told him to get four attributes, and that's the only thing he couldn't find. He found three attributes which Yitzchak didn't mention b'chlal. And if you look at the Rambam Taka brings down the beginning. He says Anoshim Chachamim Unevoinim, and then he brings down at the end. You need all seven attributes. Anoshim Chachamim Unevoinim V'Yeduim. And he brings down all four attributes, and he says the Makaros from the pasuk. Because over here it says Anoshim Chachamim Unevoinim V'Yeduim, and over here you have all four. So when you look for a regular bezdin, even of shloisha, even of three people, so the Rambam look for someone that has all seven attributes. And Lamais, if you don't have all seven, but the Achreinim are busy. Could you have without seven attributes? But it seems like it's very benimtza to find these seven attributes. So what's the pshat that Safri is saying that Moshe Rabbeinu only found Anoshim Chachamim Unevoinim V'Yeduim? He couldn't find the Dor Day. These four attributes he couldn't find. It's a Peldik Kazach. What's Pashup Pshat? So I was thinking like this. I was thinking about I once heard a word from a Pesach friend. I don't remember who he said it over from. He said a murder kavod. Chazal saying b'chukoisai telechu shatir amelim b'Torah. So it's interesting. All about Torah, we know Torah is our whole life. The purpose we were put on this world is to attach ourselves to learning, to learn Torah. Our whole life is supposed to be connected to Torah. That's what the Torah chaps on in b'chukoisai. It's a chayk. Chayk means something like it's not understandable. We know you get this kind of Torah when you learn what's the pshat. The Torah lose the lashon of chayk, which Ki'ilu has no avana of in b'chukoisai teilechu. The whole purpose of the world was for Torah. So Rabbi Yisachar said, a friend said over, he said, the idea is we all know that Avada, we know our purpose is to limit our Torah and we're connected to Torah. But there's one part of Torah that really we have no Avana in it. We see someone that connects himself to Torah, it changes the person. The person gets a totally different bria. A person could be sitting and learning Arba Avos Nazikin. Something has to do with a shor, a bar, a mava, a heva, nothing to do relevant to the Gavalik Midas and a sreimemis that a person could acquire. And after a while, there's a small change in the person. As time goes on, the person becomes hecher. He becomes a different person. What's that gewaldige koyach that the Rabbeinu Shalom put in the Torah, that a person could be changed over with the koyach HaTorah? On that the Torah says, Hamelis BaTorah is a chayk. You know which part is a chayk? The part that changes a person's entire bria that the Torah put into the Torah. We don't have avon and how that works, but that's the Metzias. The Metzias is, Limit HaTorah changes a person and makes a person better, and all those midas are acquired from the fact that the Torah redoes a person. So the pshat is, Avada, I think Yisroi, when he came to tell Moshe Rabbeinu the attributes, Zok Yisroi Avada, Yisroi understood, to be a chazan you have to have a good koil, to be part of Bezdin you need Anoshim Chacham and Avinu V'Yeduim. But Yisroi is saying that Keilu, that's all nice, but the main attributes that you want is these gewaldige attributes of Anshe Chayil, Seine Betza, there should be Anshe Emes. These are the attributes that you should be focused on and look for these gewaldige attributes which will be necessary to have a Bezdin. And Moshe Rabbeinu Zokta Sefri, Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't busy with all this. Moshe Rabbeinu was busy with Anoshim Chachamim, Unevoinim, V'Yeduim, Shem Tov, which is a Teitzah, who was busy with only learning. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu knew in Bechukoisai Teilechu, the koyach of Torah, all these midas are not standalone midas. There's no such thing as standalone midas. The midas are all gebayit from the koyach HaTorah to redo a person and make the person better. And those midas are acquired from Anoshim Chachamim Unevoinim V'Yeduim. And everything else is just a teitzah from those gewaldige midas. And Memela, that was the focus that Moshe Rabbeinu had. So we'll have a gewaldige day.